Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things, politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. You know that one of the biggest challenges that has faced Nigeria from inception, right from 1914 to this day, had been how to build a united Nigeria, an inclusive Nigeria, a Nigeria in which everyone is carried along, nobody is left behind as a result of religion, ethnicity, gender, or what have you. It is a challenge that taxed our leaders for so long. But the 1963 Constitution was able to provide a way to manage our diversity in such a way that Nigeria can grow in all the segments of its diversity together as a united nation. But the more things changes in Nigeria, the more things get worse in our effort to build a diverse nation. In fact, some people pride themselves that this diversity is good for them. This lack of diversity is good for them. They will be the first people to tell you nobody from this part of the country will ever rule this country. And they say it with pride. They say it with excitement. They will tell you only their people can produce president. Only people from their part of the country can be president. That's what they keep on telling you. But what have they made of the presidency that have been handed to them? Whatever means with which they got it. They have been abysmal failures. Look at all the presidents they have produced for Nigeria. How many of them could be equated with great presidents of the world, like Lee Kuan Yew, who took Singapore from third world to first world? How many of them can even compare with Paul Kagame? How many of them could be equated with Mandela? How many of them could you put in the same level with even Julius Nyerere? They have all been abysmal failures, whether military, whether they emerged through the military or whether they emerged through democracy. They have been abysmal failures. That is why there's always good for diversity. That is why diversity is good. When everybody is included, when everybody has access to leadership, when everybody is allowed to practice his religion, Nigeria is always better for it. Will be better for it. Now that brings me to Bishop Kukah when he appeared on Arise TV recently and was lamenting about the fact, according to him, of what religion is doing in the north and nationwide. But particularly he singled out northern Nigeria and most troubling, the universities in northern Nigeria. Now, if universities are supposed to be oases of intellectualism, universities are supposed to be a place where you go to. You are meeting a group of people that are knowledgeable. They know they are part of the intellectual world. They have access to information. Many of them have studied abroad. Many of them have lived abroad. Yet, when they go back to their cocoon in northern Nigeria, the education they get and the worldview they get when they were outside Nigeria amounted to nothing. That is the essence of what Bishop Kukah is talking about. And the reason why this country need to do something about it. And the leaders of these universities that Bishop Kukah is talking about should really look inwards and solve the problem. Now, the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, Bishop Hassan Kukah, Mathew Hassan Kukah, he has expressed worry about what he described as declining diversity and meritocracy in Nigerian universities. He said that he found out that public universities in the north are not open to the idea of having churches built in their campuses. Kukah said, he said this when he featured in Arise TV's The Morning Show. The cleric expressed dismay over the closure of doors to churches in universities in northern Nigeria. The cleric said, and I quote, "A mosque was constructed in the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. I delivered a convocation lecture in Calabar 3 weeks ago. After my lecture, the chief imam of the University of Calabar came to congratulate me. But as I speak to you, Usman Danfodio University, which is over 40 years old, Bayero University Kano, and the other universities in northern Nigeria have decided to close their doors to the possibility of churches being built in the universities across the country. All these fanaticisms we are seeing is expressed in public life. If students in the university or at the point of their growing up are not allowed to integrate and interrelate, and if churches or mosques cannot be built across the country, then there is a problem." End of quote. Indeed, like he said, there is a problem. If churches and mosques cannot be built in Nigerian universities, indeed, there is a problem. And he made a very important point there. He said the fanaticism we are seeing is being reflected in public life. It's being reflected in public life. This fanaticism you are seeing, it is not only the extremists who are carrying AK-47 in Sambisa forest that can express extremism. It is not only the extremists who are in Zamfara forest that are expressing fanaticism. It's not only the extremists in the forests of Kaduna, Birnin-Gwari, that are expressing fanaticism. There are academic fanatics. There are public servant fanatics. That was why I remember when former President Goodluck Jonathan said there were Boko Harams even in the presidency at that time. So we should be able to know what we are facing in this country, that we need to do more to build an inclusive system. We should be able to build a country in which both churches and mosques is a given that they must be built in universities and other academic institutions across Nigeria. Now, it is a challenge that has been posed for those universities. And you can see, he talked about Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. He is the Bishop of Sokoto. You can't say that Bishop Kukah does not know what he's talking about. And if you are in northern Nigerian universities and you have a challenge with the building of churches in your university, you can give your commentary at this box, at the commentary box here, if you have had any challenge. Because apparently in southern Nigeria, Muslims don't have problem in building mosques. You see the example he cited. He said there's a mosque at the University of Nigeria in Sokoto. There's a mosque at the University of Calabar that even the chief imam of that mosque came to greet Kukah when he delivered the last convocation lecture in that university. So what is really happening in the northern universities is an issue that those institutions should be able to address. There should be inclusivity. There should be inclusivity in northern universities to the level that somebody like Bishop Kukah, who himself is a northerner from Kaduna State, should be able to know, yes, that an inclusive northern Nigeria is emerging. Because from what he said in that interview, you could see that North is not inclusive. Because if that could happen inside a university, which is a center of knowledge, you can imagine what will be happening outside that environment. You can just imagine what will be happening in terms of religious tolerance and access to build churches in northern Nigeria. So this is an issue that should be looked into. The bishop has said his own part of it. And if you disagree with him, you can counter him. That's why the YouTube puts the comment box to say if what he's saying is the truth or if he was lying. Now, Kukah also made another very important point in this issue of diversity and inclusiveness. He talked about how the universities has deteriorated so much so that the leadership of universities are populated by people from the area. For instance, these days you hardly hear a name of a university vice chancellor that is not from that area, from where the university is located. So if you see any federal university in Southeast, the VC is likely to be from the Southeast or even from the state where that federal university is located. If you talk about a university that is in the north, the name is likely to be a northern name, and it's likely to be from the state or the catchment area where that university is located. The same thing in the southwest. This is not how Nigeria was before. This is a deterioration of inclusivity in Nigeria. This is a sign that Nigeria is not uniting. Nigeria is disintegrating, no matter what our leaders are telling you. Because if we are really building a united nation, it doesn't really matter where the vice chancellor comes from. It's all about his capacity, his intelligence, his transparency, his accountability, his record. That's all he needs. You ask yourself, is it not in this same Nigeria where Professor Dike, an Easterner, emerged the first vice chancellor of the University of Ibadan? Is it not in this same Nigeria that Professor Njoko from Southeast Nigeria emerged the first vice chancellor, University of Lagos? Can this kind of thing ever happen again in Nigeria? I doubt if it will ever, because the education sector has been bastardized. It is now all about the homeboy. The vice chancellor must come from our local government. If any other person emerge, there will be protest. The Google is full of lecturers protesting, communities protesting that the vice chancellor of a federal university was brought from another area, from another state. Where is that ever done? we are looking at a time in the world where even Nigerians are becoming presidents of American universities. Yet, in our country, it is troubling to a lot of people. If a Professor Dike is to be appointed today a Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University, or vice versa, that is not in Nigeria that we want to build, if really we want one Nigeria. That was the genesis of the interview that Kukah gave. This idea that meritocracy has been abandoned and ethnicity has been given preeminent place in leadership position in universities is really troubling, and it's not going to benefit Nigeria in the long run. And of course, that is why, despite every the advancement that the world is making in science and technology, how many researchers have you seen from Nigeria who made breakthrough within Nigeria? All those who are celebrating, from Professor Ekekwe and all the Nigerians who are making waves in United States, in UK, they were not, if they are living in Nigeria, they couldn't make breakthrough in science and tech that they are making. How many has been produced from inside Nigeria, and they are world beaters, and they invented anything reasonable that the world is celebrating, whether in the pharmaceutical, in ICT, or what have you. Because the system has been stifled, where merit makes no sense. The university has become like civil service. People are granted promotions like they are granted civil service every 3 years. You fill up, perform for upgrade to the next grade. Then before you know it, you're a March professor. How many professors in Nigeria are really making any sense in the true sense of the word? This is because we have used ethnicity and abandoned merit in our institutions, in our universities. And Bishop Kukah is in a better position to point out this, because he has been a fixture in convocation in Nigeria. I can't count the number of convocation lectures around the country that Kukah has delivered. So when he talks about these things, I think Nigerian leaders should listen. The universities themselves should listen. The Federal Ministry of Education should listen. The National Orientation Agency should listen. The Presidency should listen. Because it appears that the more things change in Nigeria, the more it gets worse. The more it remains the same. The more things change in Nigeria, the more it remains the same. Look at it. When University of Ibadan, go and check when University of Ibadan was established. The first Vice Chancellor is an Easterner, Professor Dike. Go and check when University of Lagos was established. The first Vice Chancellor was from the East again. This kind of thing almost seems impossible now in Nigeria because of the kind of leadership we have had in the last couple of years. The worst of it being that of President Muhammadu Buhari, who divided this country more than any other leader in Nigeria's history. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.